we talk about vulnerability management, we talk about scanning for vulnerabilities. This, in my opinion, is more the usual thing, right? Part of an assessment. We look for vulnerabilities and we try to figure out whether or not you're running Log4j, for example, or you're vulnerable to that and you haven't patched it, or Eternal Blue and all of these attack things that allow the attackers to succeed. Let's put it that way. So when we look at it here, we need to address the vulnerability side as part of the attack surface management, in my opinion. And when we look at that, what we're saying is, where's the vulnerable software, especially around third-party pieces? Why? Because let's be honest, that's a huge attack vector. They're a success vector for the bad guys. It's really been around that, because maybe they didn't patch it the same way we would because it's in their control and not ours. Or maybe they didn't even remember that it's there, or they weren't actively managing it because the contract didn't say they had to, and we assumed they did. That assumption often gets us in trouble. And when we look at web application vulnerabilities, well, by definition, web application is usually outward facing, although we can run internal web apps. The point is, by design it is, and we have to understand that people are looking at those, people are attacking those, people are constantly finding 0 days around those, and so we need to keep up to date. Got to patch and update. Mistakes and misconfigurations. Yeah, about 70% of the time. And this is because we're humans, and we didn't think of all the bad things that could be, because we created a rule that made something work right now and got functionally what we needed, but also may have opened us up too much, right? That kind of adjustment. Misconfigurations always happen too, because we wanted the devices to share more than they should, right? Those kind of openings. Server measures block and other file sharing, et cetera, is really inherently built into that. And we talk about encryption weaknesses. Well, if we assume it's unhackable, then we don't have to use good encryption. That used to be kind of the methodology. It's air gap.
Oh yeah, castle and mode or air gap.
Oh God,
right.
Yeah. I hate that term. I hate the term only because it lulls us into a false sense of security and means we're not checking, because we rely on the fact that it isn't connected. We have seen many times that assumptions around air gapped, it's just like saying the Titanic was unsinkable. All the bad decisions made that caused the Titanic to sink were based, on my opinion, on the fact that they said it was unsinkable. They went too fast, it was nighttime, they were in an iceberg field, all of those things. They didn't turn the ship as fast as they could have. They didn't listen to the lookout fast enough. All of those things, didn't have enough lifeboats. All of that was direct correlation to the fact that they said it was unsinkable.
Overconfidence.
Yeah, right? That leads us all down that path. And information disclosure. Okay, so we're dealing with a lot of public entities, and those public entities put things out for RFP, right? And oftentimes those are published. So somebody's going to know what firewall you have. They're going to know which insurance company you do and whether or not that insurance company prefers to pay a ransom. That gets people in a lot of trouble, because all the bad guys have to do is do a statewide search for that insurance company, and then they can see all the RFPs where that insurance company won, because it's all published. We got to be careful about what we're publishing. That's really the point.